For the next 4 weeks, whether you like it or not, I will be preaching on the letter to the Hebrews. Okay? And first of all, it's not a letter, it's a homily. A homily that seems to be addressed to Christians, the Christians who used to be part of the Levitical Jewish priesthood. Okay, so these are Jewish people, became Christians, and their descendants is that of the tribe of Levi. Okay, Levi was the one which the priest of the Old Testament came about. And so we're going to see what this homily has to say to these people, because these people seem to want to go back to performing the animal sacrificial rites of the Old Testament. And I'm not going to tell you, we're going to keep you in suspense to keep you coming back to what this mysterious person, some say it's St. Paul, others don't. We don't know who is the origin of this homily. But anyways, let's get right into it here. We're in chapter 2. So just to let you know that chapter 1, which is important because it kind of links to chapter 2, the homilist here, this mysterious person, wants to establish Jesus has a mediator. So a mediator is a person who's a go-between between two parties. Okay? In this case, we have God on one side and we have us on one side, and Jesus is the mediator between us and God. And the homilist begins by kind of offering a justification of why Jesus is the perfect mediator. Okay, so in chapter 1, it's more looking towards Jesus and God. Okay, Jesus is the perfect mediator because he's greater than angels, being God's beloved Son. Now in chapter 2, in today's first reading, now he looks the other way. Why is he the perfect mediator for us? Okay, so chapter 1, it's Jesus and God, and now chapter 2, it's Jesus and us. So let's get right into it. It was not angels that God subjected the world to come of which we are speaking. Okay, so that first line there is, in creation, as we know from the book of Genesis, for those that took the study, okay, what did God give Adam? God gave Adam what? Dominion over all creation. Okay, and so that's how this person begins. God gave the human person dominion over creation. Even though if we look at creation and we're impressed by the stars and the sun and the waters and the sky, that creation is very mighty and impressive, yet dominion has been given to us who seem kind of insignificant towards the beauty of creation. But yet that's exactly what has happened. And so then he continues by quoting Psalm 8. What is man that you are mindful of him, or son of man that you care for him? Yet you made him just a little lower than the angels, which again is meant to be a compliment. We are just in the order of, greatness or whatever. It's God, angels, and then us. But yet we are the ones that have dominion over creation. Yet you made him a little lower than the angels. You crowned him with glory and honor, subjecting creation under the feet of the human person. But yet then he says, in subjecting all things to him, he's left nothing not subject to him. Okay, so again, the idea, everything's subject to us. Yet at the present, we do not see all things subject to him. Meaning that we kind of don't have subjection, if you think about it, over creation. Creation seems to have subjection over us. We get hurricanes, we get tornadoes. We take care of ourselves, yet we get sick. Just come in here. I'm not hopefully anytime soon, but, we're in winter. So snow and ice are going to come, and it's going to affect our daily course of living. We might not make it to Mass. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like creation's out of control and we have no control over it. And that's because of why? Because of the sin of Adam. Okay, so God gives creation dominion to Adam, but yet we seem to not have dominion over it. So then he continues. But we see Jesus crowned with glory and honor because he suffered death. He, for a little while, was made lower than the angels. So again, in chapter 1, he was saying that Jesus is greater than the angels. But now he was made, by the incarnation, made lower than the angels, that by the grace of God he might taste death for everyone. So what's he getting at here? We don't have subjection over creation. God becomes man. God is like us, made subject to just below the angels, just the way that we are. And then God entered all the human suffering and misery of our life and experienced it and went through it. And again, he doesn't say it here, but we know the whole story that by entering into the path of suffering, into the path of chaos, that through his resurrection now, he is crowned with glory and honor. All things are subject to him. You know, as we look at the resurrected text of Jesus, right? He just appears and doesn't appear. He can eat. He doesn't have to eat. Like the all chaos of creation that we lost control of, he seems to have control of now. And so quickly, I'll move quickly here. For it is fitting that he, through whom all things exist, in bringing many children to glory, should make the leader to their salvation perfect through suffering. So it's by him entering into our human misery, which makes him the perfect mediator for us. He knows our experience. He's lived it. That's what the author's trying to say. So one who is the Son of God is the perfect mediator between himself and God for us, is also the perfect mediator for us because he's also lived through our human experience. And I'll end with this. Therefore, he's not ashamed to call them brothers by saying, I will proclaim your name to my brethren in the midst of the assembly. I will praise you. That last line right there, he's quoting Psalm 22. You know the beginning of Psalm 22. It's the words of Jesus on the cross. My God, why have you abandoned me? Okay, that's how Psalm 22 is opened. The author gives us the middle of Psalm 22, but Psalm 22 begins with that human misery, but ends with the triumph. That through the misery, God still delivers him from the suffering. He did with Jesus, and he will with us too. We don't want to suffer, but we do. But through the suffering, may we still remain united in faith in Jesus Christ, who he, as our older brother, so to speak, lived it and also triumphed with it. And we will too. May God bless you.